You gotta get into the groove.
Hi, this is Leung back with GrooveAsia Live. If you're joining us live, give us a hashtag live. If you're joining us on the replay, give us a hashtag replay. And today, yes, as you can see, we do have some mystery guests for you. So it's not just me here today. We have some pretty cool dudes that I'm sure all of you would like to meet. Are you excited about that? If you are, type in the word excited inside of the comments. And just so that you know, yes, we do see all of you. Thank you, Georgie, or join us live. So is Annie. Queen Bee saying hello to George as well. Chanel is also joining us. What's up, Christian? And Gerda, as well as Liney. And Liney is also excited. Hashtag live. Awesome. Very, very excited. So is Queen Bees. So this is definitely going to be one of those very special episodes where it's not just going to be anything else that you normally see me blab about, because as you know, right here in this community, it's all about surprises, it's all about bonuses, and it's all about opportunities. Now, speaking of opportunities, how many of you actually joined us for that mini course last night? If you joined us for the mini course, type in the word mini course inside of the comments. Better yet, how many of you will be joining us for the actual full Insider Secrets Master Shop this coming weekend? If you are, type in the words Insider Secrets. We definitely want to welcome you, and our special guest, as mysterious as they are, it's good for them to see what's going on. It's good for them to see you as well. And it's definitely something that we're very, very excited to be sharing with you. Now, just so that you know, for those of you who will be joining us this weekend, as I just mentioned, of course, it's all about opportunities right here within GrooveAsia, isn't it? It's all about people who step up. It's all about people whom we identify and acknowledge and recognize as either leaders or aspiring leaders. And with that, there's all sorts of partnerships that are available. So what I want to do in just a moment's time is I want to introduce to you not just one, but two people who will be my co-trainers this weekend. They're going to play a little small part in the actual training itself. One you should be familiar with, and another one is a brand new introduction into our community as a leader. So very, very excited about that as well. But before we get into that mystery guest, the first man I do want to share with you is somebody who has been with GrooveAsia ever since its induction, and that's because you know him as one of the top leaders. You know him as somebody who has been around ever since the beginning, somebody who has helped us out in many aspects, whether it's live events, webinars, mini courses. We always make sure that we include this guy because he is, of course, one of our lead mentors. And so without further ado, I want to introduce to you, we were just talking and joking about this literally seconds before we came on live. Pretty crazy that he's actually another country away, thousands and miles apart, thousands and thousands of miles apart. But at the same time, right here on this screen, you will see us right next to each other. So let's give a huge round of applause to the man himself. You all know him, Mr. Nicholas. What's up, Mr. Nicholas? Thank you for joining us here today as one of our mystery guests. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, Simon. Great pleasure to be here as always, and excited, really excited for the weekend. I'm really looking forward to this. So,
yeah, for sure. And our COO is saying a big hello to you. And that really is the cool thing about having multiple people on here is I don't have to wait until the end to look at the comments. I can actually see all of you. Chanel is saying Insider Secrets. So is Gerda and George. We got Calvin join us, so is Queen Bee and Christina. So usually I don't get to see any of this until the very end, but now I get to see all of your fans. We got Annie saying hello to Nicholas. So is of course Christina, Liney as well, Ernest, We got Gerda also saying hi, and Queen P is saying hi to Boss, which I presume is to John and everyone else. All right. So with that, very, very awesome. Are you excited about this weekend, Mr. Nicholas?
Oh, mate, I'm so excited after getting a little preview today of what's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, seriously, if you missed out, well, I really feel bad for you because what is coming is absolutely phenomenal. Like,
That's really funny.
yeah, it's so huge. It's going to change lives. It's going to change direction for so many people, I think.
Oh,
And
yeah,
for those who are involved, yeah, I just
absolutely.
can't wait.
And especially since we mentioned that, because it's not just about the general public. In fact, a lot of people who will be showing up this weekend, they will come as a result of our public webinars, our public live events, where we
Yep.
actually invited them to go. And most of them are not actual GrooveAsia community members. And so for being right here, right now, as we mentioned last night during the mini course and the entire session, it's not just about what Nicholas saw, right? In regards to the content itself, it's not just about the system. It's not just about the software or the strategies or the methods or the business model. It's the opportunity that is in store for you as a potential partner, which is something that is not available outside of this community, right? And so with all of that, I think that definitely Nicholas sees a much bigger picture. He sees not only on what is in store in terms of the content, but he actually sees what is in store for real, active action takers who are committed within this community, who are dedicated to take themselves to the next level, challenging themselves to attend events, believe in their own content, right? Self-develop into reaching shadows of doubts that previously never existed, and now they are pretty much everywhere that they want to transition into, and the opportunity is right here in front of your eyes. And so with all of that, yes, it is great, and as you know, opportunities are always in existence, especially to our community members, and that is because we like to grow from within. For Nicholas, he's been a part of GrooveAsia since the beginning. He's been a part of Groove for like over a year now. And every single time that we reach out to different brand new members into the community, now we're seeing, hey, it's great. You're starting out now. And it's amazing to see your progress, right? It's amazing to see how far you've gone. It's amazing to watch you grow. And it is our perfect desire, right, to make sure that we groom from within so that we can actually play a role in your success. Are you excited about that? If you are excited about us playing a role in your success, type in the word success inside of the comments. But in addition to that, what you will also know and what you will also realize is that because I've been doing this for the better parts of the last decade and a half plus, I know a lot of people in this community, right? I know a lot of people who are experts. I know a lot of people who are very legitimate, real gurus out there, many of whom you have been introduced to, right? For the last several weeks alone, you got introduced to people like Dennis Yu, to Ronnie Rich, to Grant Morale, because they were kind enough to be a part of the community for 2-day events, right? During different events such as the Groovathon, such as Freedom Day events, such as the GrooveAsia launch event. You also met a lot of my other friends, right? They come on the show every once in a while as well. And guess what? Yes, in fact, they are the gurus. So it is definitely our blessing, right? It is definitely a blessing and our privilege to have them on board so that we can learn from them. I can introduce them to you, and they're kind enough to accept the invitation so that they can be a part of this community. But here's the thing, right? Community leaders and traditional gurus, they are usually on two separate sides of the spectrum, aren't they? One side, they're here, you're here because you want to learn. You want to be a part of every big thing that we do, right? And you want to grow and you want to eventually aspire to strive for your own goals. When it comes to the traditional leaders, right, the traditional gurus and the experts, they're usually here because They're volunteering their time. They say, yep, sure, I can spend an afternoon with you. I can spend a day with you. I can spend 2 days with you. And as we see with many of these experts, right, they come in, they go out, and if there is another chance later on down the road that we get to invite them back in, then of course, that's yet another one of our privileges. So I'm sure you understand, right? We have two separate sides of the spectrum. But what if I were to tell you that every once in the blue moon, we can actually merge the best of both worlds? Would that be amazing to you? Does that sound amazing to you? If it does, type in the word amazing inside the comments, because that is where I want to introduce to you my second guest here today. Okay, our second guest today, our mystery guest, don't even try and guess. Okay, this is not somebody that you can probably guess, because this person has not really been an active part in our community. However, he's been in the background, he's been observing, he's been watching us, and he's been sharing internally with me about all the amazing things that he sees within this community. It's not every day that we get somebody in a guru kind of level to want to be an active part of our community. The good news is that we have that for you here today. The gentleman that I want to introduce to you, this guy I have known for over 10 years. I met him in Dubai when we both shared the stage together. I believe it was back in 2009. So you can imagine he had been doing internet marketing, being successful entrepreneur even longer than that, right? So by 2009, he was already on the big stage and we were traveling internationally, hanging out. And moments ago, before we came on live, Mr. Nicholas also mentioned, right? We actually had a private meeting. We introduced this guy to the actual team. We introduced him. He introduced himself. And the way that I introduced him is not only is he somebody that we can come to respect as a guru, as a specialist, as somebody who really knows what he's doing. In this community, in this industry, I'm sure you can imagine, yes, I know a lot of people, and I might be one of the lucky ones who actually can call a lot of the big names, my personal friends, my colleagues, and everything that we do, though, even with my relationships with some of the big names, a lot of times there's always this superiority type of mentality that they have over me, just because we don't always get to see eye to eye, right? Even if we have, let's just say for this example, in this community, if I were to reach out to them and ask them, hey, would you like to be on this show? Would you like to share something with our community, right? They would be in the position where they say, yeah, you know what? I probably have 3 hours this afternoon, or I can check my calendar. And next month on the weekend, the third weekend, I can spend 2 days with your people or something like that, right? So still, we have that kind of relationship where they are their own people, right? They're their own businessmen, they're businesswomen. And while they're happy to reach out and contribute as much as they can, they don't really want to be a big part of the community. The gentleman that I'm about to introduce to you, as I mentioned, not only can he be respected at that level, but he is one of the very few people that I have met, and I have met thousands across the world. Thousands of what they call gurus, speakers, specialists, consultants, mentors, coaches, whatever, right? There is a very, very few number of them that I would ever consider to call my friend. There's a very, very small number of them that I know whenever things can go wrong, and when the SHIT hits the fan, right? And I'm not going to go into detail, but you know that this guy has your back. This is the kind of leader that we want to have in our community. Do you agree? If you agree, type in the word agree inside of the comments. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you not just a leader, not just somebody who wants to be an active part of our community, but also somebody that I know, that I entrust in enough for all of us, not just me, but I am confident enough to introduce to all of you this gentleman as a genuine friend. He's somebody you'll want to get to know. He's an all-around cool dude, and it's definitely somebody who will make your day. So again, without further ado, this is a gentleman who is originally from Ireland. He is Irish. He now lives in Spain. He lived in Asia for 10 plus years, but now, because of the power of the internet, we can all come together. So if you're wondering, do you have to be Asian? Do you have to have slanty eyes and black hair, whatever else? The answer is no, right? Because we are truly a multicultural global community, and I want to have you meet somebody that I will not regret introducing you to. This gentleman is a very good friend. He will be a big part of our community, our latest leader into GrooveAsia. Let's give a huge round of virtual applause and welcome officially to GrooveAsia and GrooveAsia Live, Mr. Kieran Doyle. Let's give a huge round of applause. Welcome, Kieran. I'm so happy, so excited to welcome you.
I'm blown away. That was 5 minutes of the best introduction I think I've ever gotten in my life. Amazing. Simon, thank you so much. The feeling is mutual. And guys, absolutely delighted to be here. I'll just give you I'll jump into this actually really quickly on what Simon was saying there, that I'm over in Spain and that I'm actually, it's like an international community. And the thing is, when I lived in Cambodia and in Asia, I realized that no matter where you went, there's a new market that you can actually enter. Every single time you did a search on Google in your own language, or in English, or in Spanish, or in Thai, or in Indonesian, there's a new market that actually opens up. And when I'd seen what the guys, when I spoke to Simon again, reconnected with Simon again, and I saw what they were doing in Asia, I went to myself, wow, this is the market. This is the place where we have to actually be. And there's a massive movement with Google, and I think it's Temsac. Is that the name? Am I correct, Simon? Tencent.
Tencent, yeah.
Okay, so it's called the Digital Integration Initiative in the ASEAN region, and it's about upskilling people to actually enter the digital economy. So with all these people starting to be upskilled on what's actually happening within the region, it's perfect time now to actually be involved in something that helps these people further their business within the region. So look, I'm super excited. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. So there's my brief introduction.
Super excited to have you. And just so that you guys and gals know, actually, the original plan was to, yep, there's Chester, was to introduce Ciara, that's your new name now. Says Queen's Bee, which is Annie. The original plan, actually, for those of you who attended our mini course last night, was we actually wanted to introduce as a mystery guest, a last-minute mystery guest, Mr. Kieran, because we had previously already discussed about him being a co-trainer for this weekend. Keep in mind, he is in Spain, which means that he's about 7 hours before me. So obviously, this means that he's not going to be showing up until the late afternoon around that time. But just so that you know, last night, of course, we were running out of time. We were definitely running late. And Mr. Kieran, he actually had family in town. And I believe it was today that many of them left. And so yesterday, he was spending time with them. And, you know, we figured maybe we just shouldn't bother him since we're running low on time anyway. But instead, he would have probably had like only 5 minutes or 10 minutes on the road on his phone, just walking and talking. But that wouldn't do him any justice, right? We want him to sit down, have a proper conversation with all of us, introduce all the greatness that he's doing. When he's walking around on the phone, all you ladies as well cannot see his handsome face as clearly as you can see it now. So I'm sure this is a much more justice that we can do you, Mr. Kieran. But you get the idea, right? All jokes aside, I mean, it's not really a joke because it's true. I mean, just look at all these ladies saying hello, right? It's like, well, there you go. You don't even have to be in Asia. You can make that impact anywhere around the world. But regardless of the case, I'm sure that you understand, right? When it comes to this community, it is so much more than just people say, yeah, I'm committed. I want to do this. I want to do that. Just so that you know, we reconnected this year, just a couple of months ago, I think it was around my birthday at the end of July, and we started talking in early August. So this was about 2 months in the making, approximately 2 months in the making, where we just found the time to finally connect and just to say what's up and say, what have you been up to, for the past few years? What have you been up to? What are you doing right now? And a conversation of GrooveAsia actually came up. And when I was talking about before, right, it is so rare that you find somebody who is just on the same channel as you, right? You're going to get usually people who are excited about the community, and those are the people that we groom from within. And then those are the gurus who are saying, well, how can I participate so that I can go onto your show and see your people so that I can sell them something, right? That's usually the mentality of most people. Now, when I started talking to Kieran, and he's like, everything that you're doing is everything that I want to do. He wants to build a community. He believes in education. He believes in providing free value and over-delivering, just like what we believe in. You know what? When I tell my other guru friends what I've been doing, each and every single one of them, they call me crazy. Are you nuts? Have you changed your profession? Are you doing charity now? Are you just doing this just for the sake of doing it, and you don't care about growing your business anymore? You don't care about people? And I beg to differ. The reason why I am doing this is because we care about the people. We care about you, right? The people who don't do it, those are the people who don't care about the people. Those are the people who care about the business. Those are the people who only care about their bottom lines. Do you agree? If you agree, type in the word agree. And so when I started talking to Kieran, he was like, this is everything that I've wanted to do. I believe in what you're doing. How can I be a part of it? And I am such a bad friend, I'll tell you, because we were supposed to meet up this day, and then we missed it, and then we ignored him for a few weeks because those were the 3 weeks of when we had those those sponsored events. And so for weeks and weeks, we could not find a time to actually reconnect until last week, a couple of weeks ago. I was like, now's the best time, man, because all of our events are gone. We just finished our mini course, which means that we got nothing going on. And I think that now is the perfect time to introduce you to the community. And nope, he didn't say the train is gone, man. I'm no longer interested. He's like, yes, I'm looking forward to actually doing this with you. So huge kudos to you, Mr. Kieran, for being one of us, being one of the cool guys. And I think Nicholas, right before we actually came on, he's like, I can't believe that I'm, in the presence of such cool people. He talked to Kieran for maybe about 10, 15 minutes before he came on. And he's just like, dude, this guy is absolutely cool, right? And you know my response? Only cool guys, cool people are allowed in this community. Okay, so if you're cool, you want to be one of us, you want to be in the leadership position one day, type in the word cool inside the comments so that you know that we are all one in the same. Now, going back to you, Mr. Kieran, because I've done a lot of talking here already. Why don't you tell us, because it is your first time within the community, share with us a little bit about yourself, your background, where you came from, what got you started into internet marketing, why you moved to Asia for 10 years, and why you're in Spain now. Just give us that whole life story in about 5 minutes.
Right. Well, I'm from Ireland originally. Moved out of Ireland when I was 20. Moved to England. I went to university in Ireland, but I didn't really like it. I was studying marine biology, and while it's a cool topic to study, I just couldn't get my teeth into it. So I went over to England and I worked there for a little bit. And then I went back to university again, and I did a business degree, and I absolutely hated it. Like I hated it. Like I should have known. I hated school the whole way through. I wasn't anybody who enjoyed school. And so I think I was like 24 and I found Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I started reading it. And from that moment, like I graduated university, and I think I got a second or something like that. So not a great result within there. And that was because I wasn't interested in what was going on and what people were actually teaching there. I didn't like the format of going into classes and actually, sitting down and then you getting tested on it. They were teaching me a lot of things that I wasn't very interested in. And so I didn't study. But then when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, that led me to kind of finding out about Tony Robbins And then it led me into the UK, the digital marketing arena in the UK. And there was a guy called Mark Anastasi in the UK. I don't know, Simon, you know Mark?
Yep, spoke at his event a few times actually in London.
Yeah. So I got on well. Myself and Mark are friends. And I used to work with Mark actually. So I used to go to his events to learn what it was about. And then I actually started kind of helping him out at the back of the rooms and things like that, and helping actually with the sales desk. So I don't know, Simon, potentially I was at one of the events that you were speaking at before we actually met.
Possible.
But what drew me in about digital marketing, it was just I could do it at my own pace. I found myself in digital. I'm a lifelong educator now, so basically I just educate myself all the time. But I would have never thought that I would have been, based on my first 24 years of my life where I absolutely hated education, so much so that, like, you know, I had planned on, I worked in kind of like McDonald's, I worked kind of like actually in skip hire jobs, all these kind of crazy jobs, until I found digital marketing. I could never find my place in society. Not that I actually really fit into society so much, because I kind of stay a little bit outside of it. Because, well, look, here's how I see it, okay? You've got the world, okay, and you've got society, and you've got everybody who kind of goes to university, gets their jobs, you know, maybe will change their jobs 4 or 5 times throughout their life, okay, and they go on their one holiday a year, and then they kind of like, you know, not anything on marriage or anything like that, but they get married very young, potentially to somebody within their village or their town. This is what I grew up with, and I realized that, you know, that just wasn't for me. So at the age of 30, after kind of like doing a lot of that, so I spent 30 years or 10 years in London doing that, I decided that, look, I do this thing called digital marketing. I don't have to be in London working in my home office. You know, I can actually go and travel the world. And so that's what I did. I packed up everything, not that I had very much in London. I packed up, put in the flat, all that kind of stuff. And I bought a one-way ticket to Calcutta in India. Now, before this, I had met Simon in Dubai. Like, I had quite a good speaking career and digital marketing career in the UK, and a lot of training and helping people actually start their own businesses. And then I just said, look, I don't even want this anymore. And I packed it in. And while I didn't pack in digital marketing, I packed in what society says that I actually have to do. I packed in kind of like, you know, waking up and going into a dreary office and looking out at grey clouds. And I ended up in this crazy, like, if you've ever been to Calcutta, it is a crazy experience, absolutely immense. I loved it because I'm a big foodie. But I traveled through India, and I traveled all up the north of India, and I fell in love with India, absolutely beautiful. But after like 3 months, I left there and I went over to Thailand. I spent a few months in Thailand, and then I had not even thought about going to Cambodia. And I got on a bus one day because my visa had run out in Thailand. And I ended up in Phnom Penh, and I fell in love with it. I spent like a few days in Phnom Penh and then went off to the beach in Sihanoukville. And it just became home. It became kind of like my work that I had actually set up, like the systems that I had put in place, enabled me to work 1 to 2 hours a day, get the same results that I was getting before, spending 8 hours in London doing the same work. So life just became this kind of thing. All right, so what am I going to go to do today? I'm going to go swimming. I'm going to go snorkeling. And that's where I see that we all have an opportunity to do these things. We all have an opportunity to realize that just because society says that you have to go to school and you have to go to university and you have to kind of like get married and you have to do all of these and you have to kind of like marry your next door neighbor or whatever it is, you don't. You have the opportunity to explore this brilliant world we live in. Like, you know, I'm Irish, but I haven't been back in Ireland in 20 years. It's because I've been to so many other countries around the world. Because that's what life to me is. And life is experiencing what the world has to offer. And, you know, that's me in a nutshell, guys. Like, that's, as you can see, I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate about teaching people how to actually do that for themselves. How to actually kind of like go, you know, I'm sick of going on one holiday a year. I want to be on a 3-month holiday, or I want to be on a 3-week holiday. You know, I want to go a week for relaxing, you know, a week for boozing and having fun, and then a week more for relaxing or something like that. You know, I want to do that. I want to show people how to actually do that and how to live the lives that they deserve. Because it comes down to this: you've got one life. You've got one life, and
Absolutely, man.
if you don't grab it, you know, it has the opportunity to slip by so quickly. Really does.
Yeah, and the moment is now, you know, and that's why we say things like, if you don't have time, make time to attend these trainings, right? Make time. Everybody has 24 hours in a day. Everybody's busy. It's not that only people who have nothing to do show up for these trainings, right? And that's why we say, not only should you show up, make time, you should also take action. Take action on it, because if you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. Why did you waste your time investing that time in the first place, right? And then you say, oh, it's too hard or whatever else. Make no excuses. What's the next thing? Kieran, yes.
But yeah, just another thing in terms of time that you're actually talking about. You know, we live in a time now where being able to create websites, being able to create funnels, being able to connect things. Nicholas was sharing with me how he showed a lady over in, I think it was Dubai or the Middle East, how to actually connect up an email newsletter system with all of her customers. And he was like, oh, and you press this, or you go here, you do the drop down there, you press this button here. And that's really what's happened. Because before, like when I started out, I had to go in and create websites myself, and I learned HTML and all these kind of different things. And then it kind of like advanced, and it went to WordPress, and then you've got, which I still work on, WordPress. But nowadays it's just like, you know, you learn these tools now that can help you speed the whole process of actually getting your first businesses up online. It's just like the way Nicholas kind of said it to me. Nicholas, do you want to explain what you did there with that lady over in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm like you, right? It's like when I started developing sites, it took sometimes weeks, if not months, to get these things up. And you had to try and connect all these different systems. And then you had to learn CSS and HTML and PHP, and then go and understand what an API was and secret keys. And it's like I managed to work through it all. But the beauty about what we've got here is you don't need to do any of that anymore, right? It's as simple as I build a funnel and I can have people coming to my email newsletter list. Even better, I can build a funnel and add a product onto it. And with the click of 2 or 3 buttons, everybody that buys that product can also be added into my email newsletter list. I mean, and it's literally with a click of a couple of buttons. I want this person who buys this product to go into this list. 3 clicks. It used to take us hours and hours and hours. Look, I do this all the time. I say, look, see this color? That's because I spent so many years trying to work this stuff out. And you guys don't have to do that. The one thing we can say about this community is all of the information we provide you, we are saving you 20, 30, 40 plus years of frustration, right? I mean, you can guess the age of a lot of us, or you can try and guess the age of a lot of us in this room, and people like, Mike and Donna and so on. We're not young guys and girls anymore because we've spent decades learning this stuff. And you don't have to. That's what we're trying to impart on you, right? Kieran's right. Life is for living. And Simon's right. You know, you've only got so many hours in a day. But I want you to think about this. If you're in this community and you want to take action on something, I want you to really listen to this number. It's 168. 168. You have, like I do, 168 hours in a week. If you cannot do something like Kieran said, 2 hours a day, what's that? 12 hours a week? 12 hours a week out of 168. Come on. You can do whatever you like then, right? That's the beauty of what we've got to offer you here, along with the community. And Karen, I'm just so happy that you've come and joined us, mate, because I'm really excited with what you've got to offer and what you know. So I'm looking forward to learning from you as well, my friend.
He's got tons and tons to offer. And 168, that's very interesting because we were talking about numbers earlier, right? And
Yep.
168 actually is a lucky set of numbers in Chinese. It means to, yes, there you go, Mr. John.
Yep.
It means to continue to be rich, or wealth, continued wealth, basically. So it all makes sense. 168, and we talked about all the everything happens for a reason. And funny thing that you kind of mentioned this. And so yes, you're absolutely right. Lots of exciting things happening in this community, as you can see. So again, going back into Kieran and your vision and what you mentioned during our initial call that you really believed in, and this is also kind of something that we were just talking about moments ago in terms of making the time to learn and making the time to invest in yourself and take action. While you and I both, right, we talked about this, and we talked about how we truly believe in giving back to the community. We truly believe that, unlike, and we're not going to name any names or communities or gurus or whatever else, but we can very distinguishedly say that we differentiate ourselves from everybody else because nobody else would be willing to provide the free value that we are willing to provide. As if there's nothing in return that we will ever get, we will still continue to do this, right? But the one thing that we also do realize is that the more that we give, sometimes we're actually doing people a disservice if we constantly give things away for free, because I'm sure you've seen this, Kieran, you've seen this, Nicholas. I'm sure many of us who are within the comments, they see this as well. When something is free, there's no value, right? It's not appreciated. People miss it. They think it's not important. If it's free, then it's not something that we necessarily need to do. And so sometimes we need to put a little value on it. Sometimes we might even need to put a price tag on it because it's not for us. It's actually for you, right? It's for those who actually take action. Because if you don't intend to invest, even if it's a small $10, $50, $100, $200, $500, if you're not willing to invest that small amount and you're only going for one free class after another and seeing what you can do, you're not investing in yourself. Now ask yourself, out of all those free classes that you actually attended, what have you actually done with it? So sometimes when we actually offer something of significance, right, and we put an actual retail price tag on there, again, it's not for us, it's for you, right? Because it's a small enough investment that it's not going to break your bank, but at the same time, it is significant enough to some of you that you'll actually be more committed to taking action with it. And so if we said this before, we also mentioned that, of course, if there's any instances where we do something like this, last night would be a great example, right? We mentioned this, and John as well agreed. This is not money that we need. In fact, we would do it for free if we knew that this is something that would help you to make that commitment, to do something even better. But the fact is that it didn't really matter whether you decided to join or invest in yourself. It didn't make a difference to us because we were going to go out there and create more success stories anyway, right? It would matter to you because once you invested, you make the commitment and you will take action. And because that money didn't really bother us one way or another, this is another reason why GrooveAsia is such a great community. is because collectively as leaders, we all decided that a great portion of those proceeds would just go directly to the donations of those in need through the recent Philippines flooding natural disaster, right? And so you can tell we're not doing this for us. By no means, right? We can do it for free if we wanted to. We can continue to do things for free if we wanted to. But what is that going to do for you? Are you going to take action on it? Are you going to find any value in it? Because if you don't, then we're all just wasting our times, right? So here's the thing. Kieran is on board. He is in GrooveAsia. And he says that he wants to continue to share free value and free education because he believes in that. But the same process goes, right? We want to make sure that whatever it is that Kieran is investing in himself to share with us, that we do not take it for granted. It's so easy for us to take things for granted, right? It's free, so I'll take it. If I don't do anything with it, I didn't lose anything other than a few hours of my time. Mr. Kieran is one of those experts where in our past lives, when I used to travel around the world and I can command a USD $1,000 just for an hour of my time, Kieran is also a high ticket, expensive kind of guy. Okay, but we have him here. We have him in this community. And we want to make sure that you see value in whatever it is that he is going to share. So what I want to do right now is to have your commitment. Can we have that? Your commitment that whenever we have the honor to actually learn from Kieran, that we do not take advantage of him or his time, that we appreciate it, that we show gratitude and the way that he is going to take his reward, the way that he is going to see that appreciation is when you do your thing, you implement what you learn, and you get your results. When you get your results, this is when we get our rewards. Can we get your commitment on that? If we can, type in the word commitment inside of the comments. And so with that, knowing that right here inside of the GrooveAsia community, we are a bunch of nice people, kind-hearted, right? Even if we do have, different things where we say, okay, well, if you want to attend here today, then this is how much it would cost you. But at the end of the day, you know that we don't need the money. That goes to charity, right? So we're all doing good things in this community, and we're all doing the right things as well. But with that, okay, I want to take the ball back to Kieran now. Because yes, it's great. We know that you're an expert. Yes, we know that you know a lot of different stuff, but just so that we have a much clearer idea, okay? This is a two-part question. The first opportunity that we're going to be able to learn from you is this coming weekend, okay? This coming weekend, because we're going to give you a little bit of time to share for those who are going to be attending the Make USD Online Insider Secrets. What do you plan to be sharing with us this weekend? And the second part of the question, since we're going to have you for the long haul, maybe for the next several weeks, maybe for the next several months, maybe you will be around longer than most of us, who knows, right? Because you just absolutely fall in love with GrooveAsia, just like how you fell in love with Asia and Cambodia. I personally definitely hope that you're here for the long haul. But since we have a lot more time together, what also do you plan to progress along and share with us as time goes on?
Okay, great question. I suppose, guys, I should probably tell you what I do, because there was a lot of talk about my philosophy on life. But what I do is I rank websites, okay, but not only websites. I rank content. I look at. I think the easiest way to say it is I look at what is going on in the search engines. And then basically I'm able to figure out how to get websites up to the top of the search engines. Okay. So that's the main thing I do, but that's called search engine optimization. Okay. And the reason that I do search engine optimization over paid media, I met Simon when I was big into paid media. I still do paid media, but I prefer the search engine optimization side of stuff. And the reason that I actually do is because when you create content, I'm going to speak about the content side of things. When you create content on the internet, let's say you were creating content for your GrooveFunnels website. You create one piece of content, okay? And next of all, the search engines come along and they put that content onto their search results, okay? Next of all, you put another piece of content onto that GrooveAsia site, and it gets picked up again. And then you put some more on, and it gets picked up again. Okay, so what's happening there is you're getting virtual real estate on Google. Okay, so you're basically, and the more of that virtual real estate you're getting, the more people have an opportunity to actually find you. And if you have an affiliate product like Groove Affiliate, then they have a more of an opportunity to actually purchase from you. So that's why I love SEO, because the more work you do, it doesn't turn off. Like if you stopped paid advertising, it continually is there. So a piece of content that you created 10 years ago could still be bringing you in sales within 10 years. And that's why I love that, because you set up a machine. But this machine has something special to it as well. This machine just doesn't take a single piece of content and say, okay, I'm going to rank that single piece of content for a certain keyword. It takes all of the content that you have. And the more of that content you create, it creates a compounding effect. So it builds and builds and builds. So if the simplest way to put it, let's say you put up one piece of content onto your website. Google sees you as a website with one piece of content. If it kind of sees you with two pieces of content, it kind of goes, okay, maybe that's like 2.1. Okay, so instead of just 1 plus 1, it's giving you 1.05 plus 1.05. And then you put 3 on, and it kind of gives you, maybe it's 3.2 or 3.3. Okay, and then you put 20 on, and then you've almost got a mathematical score of 40. So it compounds and it compounds, and the more you actually put onto it, the more you appear in the search engines for your affiliate products. And that means the more opportunities that you actually have for making sales. And that's really where the freedom comes with, is when you set up those systems to actually bring in free visitors to your affiliate sites. That's when you can go away on those freedom vacations. That's when you can do the things that you actually want to. You wake up one morning and go, do you know what? I want to fly off here today. And you go and you book it. That's when you can, because you're not paying for people to come into your website. You've set up the automatic systems, and Google loves you for that, and Bing loves you for that, and Yahoo loves you for that. And they bring in free leads for you and free conversions into sales.
And
so
when you know how to do SEO, I mean, you can do pretty much anything that you want. When you know how to work with the search engines, it's not just about affiliate marketing. It's not just about your own products or services. As Kira mentioned, once you know how to do it, you can't even turn it off, even if you wanted to. I continue to receive emails all the time for a lot of different businesses, for affiliate programs that I don't even remember ever promoting, for my businesses that I don't even have anymore. Case in point, I just received this. You can't really see this too clearly. Let me change the view just a little bit. Can't really see this too clearly still because it's all black and things like that. But let me share with you what this is. This is an inquiry from somebody who wants to rent a venue in KL. And that's because in my past life, a year and a half ago, I had training centers in different parts of Malaysia, in Penang, in KL, and I haven't even had that office in the last year and a half. That office is gone. You know, when the pandemic hit, we weren't able to travel anymore. We weren't able to do our events. It didn't make sense for us to keep that office, right? So because of that, before then, we actually had the office and we're renting it out and all those great things. But because we did SEO for it, we were doing extremely well, getting organic free leads onto this business to go to our live events, to our people who are signing up for our live courses and things like that. But because all of that actually went away in the last year and a half, those businesses got shut down, right? I can't do any live events. I can't even go to KL, but almost every single few days. Every few days, we receive inquiries about people wanting to rent our non-existing office space. We have people who want to book for our non-existent live events. They want to schedule some time for non-existent agencies. This is traffic that you cannot turn off. Unless you actually turn off your business, which is what we did, this will not ever go away.
And
Imagine
Simon,
if we
the beauty of what Simon's just talking about there, Simon could actually go to somebody kind of like a broker, a traffic or an affiliate broker, and actually look at that traffic and take it and then convert that traffic into sales for Simon. So when you set up these systems to bring in traffic, there's the option, if businesses close, there are options outside of that to actually convert that traffic into money for you as well. So you can have a never-ending stream of money actually coming in via the automation of search engine optimization. And just a quick thing, if you've heard of search engine optimization, a lot of people might think that it's difficult and might think that there's, oh God, I couldn't do that. There's talk of it being a dark art in terms of digital marketing. It's really not. It's super simple, and in this training, I'm going to be sharing the only 3 things that matter when it actually comes to getting customers from the internet with content. And the funny thing is, it has nothing to do with the content that you actually create or even the platforms that you put it on. And because it's probably new to you, it won't have anything to do with what you're probably thinking either. So yeah, I'm so excited about being able to share this on the training. It's
yeah, man, and
very
we're gonna always continue to learn from you as well. But we're approaching an hour already, so we want to respect everybody's time. But I do want to get one last thing from you, Kieran, because I think I might have cut you off before we actually answered it. What can we expect from you this weekend for those of us who will be attending the Make USD online mini course?
As I said, I'm going to share the only 3 things that matter when it comes to getting customers on the internet from content, and that it doesn't even have to be the content that you actually create. Okay, and it's nothing about the platforms like the Facebooks or the Instagrams or the TikToks or the Googles or the blogs. It's nothing about that. So that's what I'm going to be sharing actually on that. So it's kind of like it's going to open your eyes in terms of what you guys can actually do when you understand how simple the things actually are. So I'm excited. I'm excited to share that, Simon.
Oh man, I'm excited for this too, because I think once the community learns what you've got to offer, Kieran, and you've said 3 simple things, right? And I don't think we're going to cover all of this weekend, but inside of Groove itself, funnily you use the word 3 simple things, right? Because inside of Groove, there are 3 simple things you need to do to make that work that they're going to learn from you inside of something like Groove Pages. So 6 steps, and they'll have the best SEO optimized sites on the planet, mate. And it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I just can't wait. I'm really excited for this.
Super cool. Yeah, man, for sure. And of course, we are seeing some of you inside of the comments who are asking about the weekend event. Here's the thing about the weekend event. We did say that last night it was a very special opportunity for those who attended the mini course to be able to get the chance to learn more about what it is that we'll be doing this weekend. However, because we talked to Mr. John earlier, he did say that, well, if there's anybody who legitimately had a good reason for missing last night event and maybe they want to give them a second chance or something like that, just so that you know, our word is our bond, which means that the same offer that was made last night no longer applies. So this means that for those of you who attended, congratulations, you are still in that special category. However, for those of you who really realized the value of what you may have missed, well, just know that in the future, when we have all these different private meetings and things like that, make sure you don't miss out on it, because otherwise it's just yet another missed opportunity. So with that, if this happens to be a legitimate situation where you really missed it, you were busy, you were not connected, things were going on, you didn't have Wi-Fi, whatever the reason might be, reach out to John or reach out to Nicholas, and they will actually talk to you and let you know, based on a case-by-case basis, what we can potentially do for you to get you into our Make USD Online Insider Secrets workshop this weekend, which will be not just me, but also Kieran as well as Nicholas as my co-trainers. And again, it's so much more than just the opportunity to learn the strategy itself. It's a true opportunity for us to partner together in ways that you would not even be able to imagine, that I'm not going to get to right now. So it's multiple opportunities all in one. Definitely worth every single investment, whether it's time, energy, effort, or whatever else. Invest, schedule your time to be there, because this is something that will absolutely be life-changing. So again, if this is something that you still need to reach out to learn more about, make sure that you talk to Nicholas, or of course John Chong, our COO of GrooveAsia and fellow co-founder, to learn a lot more about that. All right, so with that, that is pretty much all that I have for you. Before we let you go, of course, any final words from, let's start with Mr. Kieran. Any final words from you, Mr. Kieran, in regards to our session here tonight and what we have to look forward to with you in the future?
Yeah, Simon, I was wondering, were you going to get back to that? Yeah, look, great. Guys, community, I can't see you now at the moment, but I look forward to seeing you at the weekend if you come on board. But look, what I'm going to be teaching you over the coming months is how to take every single thought that you have about your online business and be able to solidify that into a never-ending stream of traffic to your website, that a high percentage of them is actually going to convert into sales. That's what I'm gonna show you, how to look at markets and actually find the perfect angle to profit inside of them, so that when a person actually searches for what it is that you're offering, that you are right there, and they're so specific in their desire to find a solution to their problem that you're the one that they go to, and that just basically turns into affiliate sales. So that's what I'm going to be teaching over the next few months inside of the GrooveAsia community, and it all kicks off from the training at the weekend. So that's it, Simon.
That is awesome. I personally cannot wait to see that as well. Awesome, Kieran. Mr. Nicholas.
Oh, mate, final words. I don't have many. I'm going to do what I normally do. For those of you who know me, I'm just going to say hashtag take action, right? That's what you need to be doing. Take action. As Simon said, if you missed what we had yesterday, reach out. There's no guarantee that we can do anything for you, but if you don't take action, if you don't reach out, if you don't ask, you'll never know. So take action. Spots are limited, as we say, and we genuinely mean they're limited for this event. So if you want to get on with what Simon's going to teach you, what I'm going to teach you, and what Karen's going to teach you, you need to be there. But only turn up if you intend to take action.
That is right. And Annie is doing her part by, I believe, tagging a couple of her teammates, which we should all do the same. If you know anybody, if you saw anybody from post yesterday in different groups, in different pages, people who said that they missed out on the training and want to have more information about what's going on, then do them a favor and contact them, reach out to them, let them know about this brand new opportunity, because even though nothing is guaranteed, at least there's a chance, right? So with that, we want to congratulate all of you for being here. We're seeing a lot of hashtag take action from all of our friends, but more importantly, don't just take action, give of course, Nicholas and Kieran. Huge rounds of virtual applause because they don't have to be here, but they are here, and they are here because they are action takers, they are leaders, and they care enough about each and every single one of you, every single one of us, to continue to be in this community to over deliver to the moon and back and beyond all of that. So let's give them another huge round of virtual applause because we are going to be owing them lots and lots of not beer, right? Because Kieran, he drinks water, but we're gonna be owing them a lot of really big favors. So with that, we on behalf of the entire community and myself, we do want to thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing those of you who will be taking action to join us this coming weekend because amazing things are gonna start happening, beginning with that training as Kieran mentioned, and of course beyond that, so many more cool opportunities in store for you. All right, so with that, take action right now. Let us know if you have any questions. And as always, we will see you on the inside. Cheers, folks. See you soon.
You gotta get into the groove.